I've been thinking of something lately, and I think it's incredibly important for us to understand as Christians, and that's the book of Job. So, in the book of Job, Satan approaches God and basically is challenging him to a cosmic duel. And he's saying that if I can get anyone in the world discouraged enough, especially one of your followers, they're going to follow me instead. They're going to walk away from you. So God says, "Have you considered my servant Job?" So Satan goes down there and wreaks all kinds of havoc on Job. Everything is lost. He's grieving. He's hurting. He's in pain. He has all of his livestock and family and crops, and everything that he once held dear is now gone. Now his wife, his friends are all mocking him. The ones that are left, obviously, everyone that is left is all mocking him. Why don't you just curse God and die? Obviously, God is not for you; He's against you. But he made this declaration. He says, "I know that my Redeemer lives, and in the end, He will reign on the earth." And I think that's important for us to understand. So that's one thing that I think is important. The other thing I think is important, if we look at the book of Job, we see the actual, as if we're watching it live, we see the result of what happens when the devil has control in our lives. Everything is taken away. Isn't that interesting that that's kind of seen behind the scenes, or kind of in between the lines? Is that God is showing us that, hey, if you allow Satan to take control, if you allow discouragement to take over, if you allow everything that is not like me to take over, everything will be lost. And God is a God of restoration. So what we see here at the end of Job is that it didn't stay discouraged. He didn't stay discouraged because everything that he once had was restored plus more. He stayed faithful to God during that whole time. Now, was he frustrated? Yes. The book of Job clearly says that he was frustrated, wondering why he was going through this. But in the midst of that, even in his anger and his frustration, he was still faithful to God. So the book of Job really is not only a story about a guy who lost everything that gained everything back plus more, but he was also, this book of Job shows us what happens when God is taken out of the equation. Now, you may see people in your life that seem like they're living a wonderful life, and they don't have God in it. Now, and it's possible they could be making money, they could be kind of surface level happy and all of those kind of things, but they go from impulse to impulse, trying to figure out where purpose and meaning really come from. But the book of Job shows us that if we stay faithful to God, He will restore that which was lost. And I love that story about that, even though it's very hard to read the story and hard to wrap our minds around it. God restores. Have a great week.